back into Ben's den for I think like the third time. First time I didn't have my mic unmuted. Second time kind of blew it. Here we go again. So we head into the midway point of the season. Saturday's tournament and quad schedule is very full this week, with a lot of good ones on the docket. But before we get there, it was a great night of action on Wednesday. I think it was like something like 14 matches out there. So I'm going to go through them. And thanks to my boy Mike, who's been helping me out with some bracket scouring, we got some good stuff for you. So let's get going. We start with them boys out there at Alvern. They took on Winnicott and put them on 53-27. Winnicott got 4 wrestling wins, including at 126 pounds. Luke Andrew Kevich. Man, I got it good the first time. Is it Skevich? Kevich? I say Kevich. So Luke Andrew Kevich. Winnicott over Nathaniel Banks out of Alvern. Gets a pin there. Dominic Young picks up a pin over Joseph Leiden as well. We had Connor Campbell over Seth Martin of Alvern with a tech fall 15-0. And Connor Nickel over William Boncourt of Alvern. Got a major decision, 16-4. On the Broncos side, you had Timothy Malley, Aiden Douglas, Shane Mackey, Quentin Tetriol, Sean Boudreau. Some very familiar names with the Broncos, and they get it done by a pin. And then one Aaron Cummings from Alvern. He took out Oliver Peralt from Winnicott by a tech fall 15-0. So again, nice win for the Broncos. They will be with me on Saturday in Winnisquam, while Winnicott goes to Concord. Winnisquam, Winnicott. Gotta keep those ones close, right? Oh, look at that, Mr. Ross. Let me see real quick. I'm gonna give him a quick message and say I'm gonna call you back. Sure. He's looking for my wise advice and making sure that he doesn't steer himself wrong. But alas, I have to continue on. And so, again, nice win for the Broncos. Winnicott when it was time to wrestle. You know, it is what it is. You got some forfeits, whatever it is in there. But they show up tough. And it's a good match to get the episode going here. And then we go up to the Great White North, where we talk about Muskoma, where they had a tri-meet. Muskoma took on Messinics to start with, 36-30. Seems like a very tight match, right? Well, it wasn't. It was a whole bunch of forfeits in this one. But the Viking from the north, one Ethan Lewis, he got things going for Muskoma with a very quick 1-4 pin over Thomas Wiley of Messinic. You had Will Austin from Messinic. He got it back with a pin over Austin Crowder in the third period. Jesse Guay bouncing it back for Muskoma, got it over Kelson Whitenhouse in the first period, early in the first, 55 seconds. Muskoma again. Paxton Roberts gets on the board with 6 over Finian Shippey and a pin. Fairly even duel from a wrestling point of view. However, looks like illness and injury could have affected the match for both teams. And so, again, Muskoma comes out on top, 36-30 there. Messinic, second-year program. A lot of great things happening there. So really good to see them putting some wins on the board against a tough Muskoma team. They took that experience and then went and put it on to Franklin a little bit. They beat Franklin 36-30. It's nice for them to go on the winning side here. And they had William Austin over Daniel Blodgett Fralick of Franklin, first period pin. Dylan Callahan, Messinic over Todd Hintow from Franklin, another first period pin. And then Franklin gets it back with 2 of their own, Cameron LeBrake over Thomas Wiley from Messinic with a pin in the second period. And Franklin's Jacob Adler over Kelson Whitehouse from Messinic with a first period pin. So love seeing the pins, love all that stuff. I'll just tell you, you guys got to learn how to not get pinned. And if you're going to get pinned, at least hang out to the third period. That goes for everybody, all duels, all teams, all divisions. If you got nothing at all, you got the fight to not get pinned. You don't have to know anything about wrestling to stay from getting pinned. You might be on your back, but all you got to do is be off your back that much. So, work at it. Stay off your back, and a lot of that technique comes right from here. So, again, Messinic 36-30, forfeits the difference again. I'll be watching all 3 of those teams, Messinic, Franklin, and Muskoma, this weekend at Winnisquam. So it should be an exciting time to see how they come back from that. Bishop Curtin, we head to Nashville, the Division Two Cardinals. They beat up on Kingswood 42 to 34. Again, looks a little bit closer, but there's some forfeits in there. BG had wins from James Aljo, Dominic Stamp, Kobe Spinney, and Bishop Kearns. I think pretty much all by, yeah, pin. Check that out. Imagine that. Kingswood saw Isaac Gagnon over Gavin Peliquin via fall, and Reese Fisher over Peter Serrato from Bishop Curtin with a major decision, 10 to 2. So good job, Peter Serrato, staying off your back, not getting pinned. Caleb Forgy, Kingswood regular name here on the Ben's Den highlights. It's kind of weird. It showed a fall against an unknown. I suspect he had a forfeit, but either way, congratulations. Good job. Uh, BG has a hometown tournament as they travel to Nashville South, and Kingswood will head to Winnisquam because they like hanging out with me, apparently. No sauna beforehand, so it's not so bad. All right, jumping around here, we got Plymouth. They beat up on Lebanon. They beat up on them pretty good. The lone highlight here for Lebanon. Some kid I never heard of, part of some Will Healy. I don't know, some wimp. Well, anyway, he beat up on Mason Morrison 9-7. It's a tough win, right? Mason's a tough kid. Will's a tough kid, so good match. Will comes out on top, and all the other stuff I said before, I didn't mean it. I know exactly who Will is. Scrappy kid from Lebanon who got the 3 points for Lebanon on the night. Plymouth stomped a mud hole in the rest of the Lebanon squad with 9 pins, and that's a good way to head to Vermont, where Essex Junction will be hosting their annual tournament. And there's some good, tough wrestling up there. Lebanon heads to Winnisquam with me again. Check that out. All right, Bo. Coach Chavanel's got him going with a try meet out there in Bo. Take on Kearsarge, beat them 71 to 12. Lone highlights for Kearsarge, Cameron Brand and Brody Malinowski. They both got some pins, and there's your 12 points for Kearsarge. All Bo from there, and much of the same again against Campbell, where they win 78 to 6. You had Sam Baker over there at Campbell. He takes out Sean Flaherty via fall in the, what do we got? Second period, I guess. Sorry, third period. And that's the lone Campbell highlight there. Still no sign of Logan Allaire. I hear he's here healing well. And, hopefully we see him back on the mat again. But again, all things being equal, make sure his health is good. Don't rush it back, all that good stuff. Bo, they're going to host a quad while Campbell will head to Pelham for the Dan Jeanette tournament. Jeanette. Every year I miss it, Coach Radinger. Just give me one of those big sausage-like hands. You got bang, and maybe it'll stick. Concord, the Tide, they took on the Londonderry Lancers and they beat them 56 to 24. First seven saw Concord go out to a commanding 29-12 lead, including pins from Biswa Darji at 106, Cullen Burke at 126, Owen Gregg at 132 pounds, and a tech fall for one Dominic Sanilla, 19 to 2. Sure, some great pictures came out of that event. Highlights for Londonderry, they had 2 pins. They had Lennox De Leon at 113 pounds and Cam Roussel at 120 pounds for the first 12 points that Londonderry got. Second half, more of the same. Caleb Holden, 150 pounds, and David Pinto Jr. secured some pins, and then it was all tied from there, baby. High tide, apparently. Carl Siriana, Jacob Mansow gets a pin. Riley Holt, close 12-8 decision. Concord really coming on strong this part of the season. Recently just won the Keene tournament, and they didn't have a single champion. And what that tells me is that they just got tough kids that, listen, not everybody can win on that day, but man, when you can go underneath and put those points on the board, Concord is going to be a problem come Division One and the meet of champions. So good job to Concord. They're hosting a super quad. Londonderry, I think they're heading to Nashville. Let me just pull that up real quick. 118 Londonderry. No, they're going to the Merrimack Duels. Merrimack Duels for Londonderry. So, all right. Now, in what was probably the match of the week, or the match of the night at least, the G-Town Grizz, otherwise known as the Gofftown Grizzlies, they hosted the Milford Spartans in a battle of undefeated teams. Someone's had to go, and neither let it go without a fight. So first half, Milford over Goffstown 23-16. You had Willem Pierce at 113 pounds. Major decision 11-1. Ian Campbell, 138 pounds, got a pin. And then Stephen Dam Boyce, 115 pounds. Excuse me, 150 pounds, got a fall for their Goffstown points. Kane Davis had a tech fall at 120 pounds. Aiden Burton had a pin uh, at 126 pounds. And a big one at 144 where Tanner Herbert he picked up a pin after being down 7-1 at 144 pounds. The second half, back and forth the whole way with Jace Wilhelmy from Milford over Sullivan Conley. Major decision 10-2 at 157 pounds. You had Noah Womack, Goffstown over Noah Kitchford from Milford. Got a pin to trim the lead. Noah Wasnack, 165 pounds, picks up a pin. And Tyler Osorio from Goffstown over Jack Clancy, Milford, 6-1. So you can see matches going back and forth, right? Well, Milford, they returned fire with two pins from Nathaniel Post at 190 pounds and Elijah Wells at 215, who again, a trend here, was down 11-1 and picks up 6 for the Spartans for their final points, resting at 39-25, putting the match out of reach for the Grizzlies. And then you have the Grizzlies come in. You got Chris Finnegan at 285, major decision, 10-0. Cole Null, 106 pounds, picks up a fall, adding 10, but falling short, 39-35. Worth noting, G-Town, they gave up a forfeit at 132. They had to do some lineup shuffling, illness, that kind of thing. And I'll tell you what, just being the true class acts that and great coaches that the Goffstown coaches are, they simply just tip their cap to Milford and acknowledge on that night they were out wrestled. And so I know Coach Everett and Coach Paraskevas, they're going to just head right back to the room and continue to get them ready. But I got to tell you, Coach Foucher over there in Milford, starting to see the results, right? Goffstown is a very quality program, defending D2 state champs, and Milford just beat them. And I know year to year is different, but consistency is key, and Milford has consistently been getting better. And you're going to start to see that continue and consistently show up in the dual meet scores and in the tournament results. So great job out there to Milford. Job well done. And really a great match for a Wednesday night. I spoke to one Eaton Tarbell the third. And, he told me it was just a really amazing environment to be an official at. It was tense. It was well behaved, but competitive. And, again, the more of that we can get on a Wednesday night, that just makes it more of a spectator sport. And, off we go. All right, what do we got next? So Hollis, Brookline is the next one. I really don't know what went on over there, even though I refed over there. And I kid. It was a great night over there at Hollis, Brookline. First time I've ever done a dual meet officiating over there. And pleasantly surprised to show a light in the ceiling when I get there. And so they got the spotlight. I like that. I know some refs don't because it, shadows and things like that. But to me, it just sets the tone on the night. It really, I think the kids enjoy being under the spotlight, builds the adrenaline. And unfortunately, there wasn't much adrenaline on this night because Hollis Brookline beat up the Tomahawks, and they did it 57-19. Again, I had the honor of sitting front row, and it was just a drubbing of a young Tomahawks team. Now, that being said, it's not because they were not fighting or giving their all. It's just, there's levels to the game, and right now, Hollis Brookline just a level above. First half of the duel, it's almost all Hollis Brookline. It was 34-6 after 7 matches with 5 pins and a 10-1 major decision by Philip Burke or Berkey. If you add the E. He got that major decision and 6 for Merrimack via the forfeit. So again, you take them where you can get them. Caden Brusso, he got a pin quickly. Daniel Frixion, he got one too. Jacob Critchfield had a pin. And apparently, unbeknownst to me, they had a race to the fastest pin. And it was Brusso at 4 seconds. Just a quick takedown right to the back and bam, the mat slap. Those slackers, Critchfield and Frixion, they did it in 43 seconds and then 1:11. Lazy. Get back to work. But on a serious note, those Hollis Brookline boys, they're getting it done. come out, represent the team well. Again, Merrimack just outmatched, but it's okay because they had one Tyler Hansberry at heavyweight who came out and just made the Hollis Brookline Cavaliers remember. Don't take anything for granted. He comes out and he puts on a tech fall 17-2, and he looked tough out there. And he put it on Harrison Holmes for 5 team points. So great job, Tyler. Looking forward to watching you wrestle a bit more. And then, listen, the Sayballs, we know that name. They've been demanding respect with Owen. He got a win over Scout Cree, an 11-8 decision. And if you're not familiar with Scout Cree, he's a tough, tough kid. You're not going to pin him, or if you do, you're going to have to really work hard. So great job by Owen. And then Connor Sayball over Aiden Smith Nightingale. He got a tech fall 15-0. New kid on the Hollis Brookline block, Hunter Knight. You know, he was out at Pelham last year. Now he's donning the Cavs singlet. Well, he got a nice win over Jack Anderson with a pin at about 255 to close out the night. Couple of exhibition matches for the JV kids. And all in all, I think a great night. Coach Dine fired up in the corner. Probably the most I've seen him. Really, I think he's starting to see some real good potential in the kids that he's got. Coach Bumpus, he took the night off, family stuff and all good stuff. So he missed it, but he's got that beautiful staff over there. They just get it done the same way. And so it's the system that works in Hollis Brookline. They come out on top. It's 57-19. And again, both teams going to get back into the practice room and get ready for the tournaments this weekend. And where will they be? Let me see. Hollis will be in, we're talking about 18th. Hollis will be in someplace. Someplace Hollis will be. Someplace Hollis will be. Where is Hollis? Hollis off. That's why I couldn't see him. All right, so Hollis is off, and Merrimack is. Did I say they're hosting the duel? I think. Yeah, Merrimack duels. Yep. All right. So hey, man, listen. Good work on both sides. Now we're moving on. Keene 63. Did I even go through this one? This one might be an on the fly one here. Keene 63, Nashville North 15. Do I got anything in there? I do. I just missed the final score. What a nut. All right. Well, unfortunately, total drubbing, or unfortunately for Nashville North, good for Keene. Total drubbing for Keene over Nashville North, 28-9 in the first half of the duel. And for a young team, this is a reality check for the Titans to, stay focused. I know we've had some success, but stay on the grind, keep getting better. And Keene is a very established, tough Division I team. So they behaved like one. In the first half, they had 3 pins, a forfeit, and a major decision. Peyton Gowell, 132 pounds. He picked up the major decision, 14-4, I believe, for his 100th win. So congratulations, young man. I know mom and dad are probably super proud. You got a little bit of time to add some numbers to that 100. So we'll see where you end up and keep wrestling tough for the Blackbirds. North, first half, got 6 from Owen Gagnon. He picked up a pin over Jacob Jones. You had Julian Palladini. He beat Caleb Miner 6-2. So again, not the best night for the Titans on the team score, but some highlights there. Second half of the dual meet, more of the same, 35-6 in points there. That's how we got to the 63-15 final score. Keen names to know there, right? Ian Spencer, 138 with a pin. Jacob Hand with a pin. He's at 150. Jack Gillard, pin at 157. Tyler English, 165 pounds. Too lazy to get a pin. Gets a 22-6 tech fall. Lias Azazadine, 175 pounds, pin. And the big boys come in. We got Hawkins, Smith, and Ray, Benjamin and Evan, respectively, picking up pins for the Blackbirds. So good night for the hometown team, Keene. They get it done. North continues to put out a near full lineup of scrappy wrestlers. They continue to get better. It's a solid showing for sure. And the Blackbirds, hey, they're doing Blackbird things. North heads to South Nashville, that is. They're going to support their city mates at the Purple Panthers Hall of Fame tournament. Keene gets a rest week after a busy holiday schedule. Host their high school, their youth. They travel a little bit. So enjoy the nest, Blackbirds. We'll see you when you get back. We got Spalding The Red Raiders, they went to, or they hosted Nashua South, and excuse me, they traveled to Nashua South, and they won the dual meet. They won it 48-34. They're settling in at 3-3 on the season. They got wins in the form of pins, and a couple of them. That's what they did. Connor Jakes at 113, Trey Wiley 120, Captain Noah Jackson at 126, Brendan Brochu at 132, Maverick Hope at 157, and the animal Sawyer Goodwin at 175 pounds. So Spalding doing some good Spalding things. Remember, they're up a division. They're don't let that 3-3 record fool you. Panthers, they had wins from John McDevitt at 138 via pin. Benny Blanco, Benjamin Byrne from Nashua South over Dylan Gravelis. He got a tech fall 19-2. Kids on fire. Gonna have him for a little bit longer too. Also, Connor Whitman, Nashua South over Dylan Nelson with a tech fall 19-3. Logan Rice over Jason Moore via pin at 190. And as I mentioned, Nashua South, they will be hosting their annual Hall of Fame tournament, and Spalding visits the Gate City for said Hall of Fame tournament. So, congratulations, Red Raiders. And we move. Oh, we're getting there. Only a couple more. All right, so Winnisquam, man, I'm going to be there this weekend. Big tournament, so they've been busy getting ready for that. But before that, now they had to go out and put it on Pelham, 49-26. First 7 matches saw Winnisquam jump up 33-6. You had Sam Weissman, Aiden Soufair. Yeah, I'm saying Soufair. I'm getting French with it. With a sudden victory win. And Ryan Cormier pins the queen, Elizabeth Donovan, at 126 pounds. And Carl Edwardson also grabs a pin at 132 pounds. Again, one win for Pelham in the first half of the dual meet. Tough guy Victor Zanoni over Louis Soik. I had to do that. That's like Scooby. Right, Scooby-Doo, right? Zoinks. Sorry. Soik. I might say it wrong, but I had to have some fun with it. So, Lewis. Unfortunately, you lost to Victor, but no shame in that because Victor is a very tough wrestler from Pelham. And that's going to happen to a bunch of kids in New Hampshire. So, taking 4 of the last 7 simply wasn't enough for Pelham after giving up a pin, a major decision, and another pin to enter the second part of the meet. It's a good win for the Squammers, and both teams are hosting their annual tournaments, so you can lick some wounds or celebrate either way, but it's on to the next one. Pinkerton, they had some, I believe, some out-of-town talent in-house where Haverhill, Mass visited the Astros. First half was Pinkerton 23-12, and they had wins by Peter Sakash, 113 pounds with an 8-4 decision. The man, Lance Bordelot, 132 pounds, as I like to call him, Chatty Cathy. Mason Boadin, 138 pounds, picks up a pin. And my boy Noah Cataldo, he picks up a decision win, 8-5 at 144 pounds. Haverhill is a tough, scrappy team for those that don't know anything about Massachusetts wrestling. So, big win for Pinkerton. Second half saw Haverhill close the gap a little bit, but the depth of the Astros just proves to be too much. Carter Mayotte, 150 pounds, got an 8-5 decision. Connor Combs, 157 with an 11-7 win. L. Mac, Landon McKiernan, 165 pounds, says, I'll outdo you and get yourself a pin. They take the first 3 of the second half, and Haverhill closes out with 4 straight, including 3 pins. That's just not enough. Again, Pinkerton 36, Haverhill 33. Pinkerton goes to the capital city where Concord's hosting their super quad, and Haverhill returns to Mass to do something down there. All right. Souhegan. Man, they just keep getting better and better, and they keep showing it. So they take on Portsmouth, and they hosted the Clippers for a duel under the light for the first time, and they put a show on. The Clippers, their 13 came from 2 familiar names in Carter Kuhn over Owen Kostecki. Tech fall, 17-2 in 58 seconds. Very quickly done, like a squirrel in a sock would do. So good job, Secret Squirrel. AJ Craig, Portsmouth gets a 6-4 tight decision win over a very tough Landon Carson. And now what is becoming a regular name in the Clipper highlights here on Ben's Den, and that's the freshman, Steven Whistler. He gets a big win over Cole Brandt via tech fall, 18-0, 3 minutes, 11 seconds in. So not many highlights, but a few highlights for the Clippers. However, for Souhegan, many highlights. Yeah, Julian Zumo, pin. Jack Frosty Kaler, Pin. Benjamin Smiley. Now I'll just do a tech fall 16-0. Chase Baby Knuckles. He's taking out Michael Mikey Shortle. 17-2 tech fall. Sam Albert gets a pin. Noah Daly. Pin. Patrick Casey. Pin. Gabriel Holt. I told you about that Holt. Yeah, he got a pin. Guess how long? 37 seconds. So Sauhegan looking tough. They had 8 JV matches on the night, so a good night overall for everybody. The light is on the ceiling, comes down and casts a beautiful spotlight on what was a good event. And so looking forward to my next trip there to host or to ref a dual meet. It'll be fun. Portsmouth, they're going to be hosting the Clipper Clash. I don't know what that is. I don't know if this is a first tournament or a quad for them or something. I don't know, but good luck to them. And Sauhegan heads to Bow for a quad to battle some familiar foes. All right. And last but certainly not least, Timberlane takes on Wyndham, and Wyndham takes it on the chin against an always tough and improving Timberlane. The lone Jaguar highlights included Henry Palmer over Peter Morrissey by a pin in the second period. Christopher Guarnacchia. Man, tell me if I'm doing it wrong, Christopher. He picks up a pin over Gavin Olje, and then Jacob Hoyt over Jaden Peralta by a decision 11-6. And that was it for Wyndham as the Owls handled it from there with 5 pins, a tech fall, and 4 forfeits as the Jaguars are still healing from the holiday bug that hit them. And simply said, Timberlane is a really tough team, and they're getting tougher. And so Timbo heads to the Big Red Duels where they look to sharpen the iron. And Wyndham heads to Nashua, again, the south side, for the Hall of Fame tournament. So, again, a great night of Wednesday action. Some tough matches. Again, the Milford and Goffstown match really, if you look at the box going back and forth and back and forth, and, it's who wrestles better that night. And, I mentioned in the highlights, a couple of those Goffstown kids, they're up pretty big and then boop, it just happens, right? That's wrestling. As long as you're not down by 15, you got a chance to win. And that's what it's about. That's why we don't ever quit. That's why I say we got to get better as a state, staying off our backs and not giving up those 6 points when you're in a tough dual meet. And so, I don't know, maybe put 10 minutes at the end of the practice, work on staying off your back and not getting pinned. All righty then. So, again, first full week back after the new year. A great night of duels. It's going to lead into some good quads, and the battle for seeding really begins. Everybody's making their way down to their respective weight classes. Lots of good things happening on the NHWA front, which again, I like to state is an independent entity of Bensden. They're a whole different association. I just happen to be part of both of them. But as you do know, I'm often out here grubbing for it and for them. And so if you're feeling generous, you can hop on GoFundMe, do a search for NHWOA, send a few bucks, send whole bunch of bucks, whatever you want to do. Every little bit helps. We had a good push this week, but we're still a ways away from our goal. And so, if you're feeling froggy, jump. And as always, I thank you for the listen. I will be digging through the brackets, as will my boy Mike, again, after a good weekend of tournaments and quads. And as always, see you on the mats.